We're at Pat Bay at the Institute of Ocean Sciences, where they also have a Coast Guard base here with ships and all the things the Coast Guards do. And a whole group of people, kids from Vancouver, Navy League kids have come over from Vancouver. Deborah Morrow, how are you?
How are you? Nice to see you again.
You may remember Deborah. We've talked to you many times about Verity Home Care, the great company you operate. But you are a huge supporter of Navy League, and you facilitated all this today.
That's right. We're celebrating 100 years of volunteering in the Navy League in British Columbia.
Not you personally.
Not me personally. Okay. Very funny, because you know I just had a birthday.
Okay, and we won't talk about
joke.
that. Okay.
And what we're doing this year is citizenship trips all over British Columbia with the little children, 9 to 12 years old. Navy
Now, what
League
are
cadets.
citizenship trips?
They are trips at the Navy base and trips to do parades in North Vancouver, all kinds of things for the kids to show the community off, show them what they do and who the Navy League is.
Now, maybe we should go back to that. Who is the Navy League for people who are unfamiliar with this? Because from what I've seen already today, it looks like a great program for kids.
Oh, it's outstanding, absolutely. The Navy League was formed in 1895 with the purpose of forming a Canadian Navy, Royal Canadian Navy, which they did. That being done, they went on to do other things, and they're in control of Maritime Affairs Canada, and also the Navy League Cadet Program, which is a cadet program for 9 to 12 years old, and they do all kinds of things like similar to what Sea Cadets do, but on a little bit of a lesser scale. And the difference between Sea Cadets and Navy League is the Navy League is entirely volunteer run. So these are the heroes with us today who volunteer their time all year long to take care of these little guys and teach them how to sail. And
very worthwhile thing for them to do,
lovely.
Of course. The kids seem to have a ball. Now, you said, and I missed it, I think, the ages of the kids?
These guys are 9 to 12. And after 12, they can join Sea Cadets.
Okay. It looks like they have a lot of fun. I know there are a number of groups here on the island and also on the mainland.
That's right, and you've met some. You were
I did.
in
Well,
Sydney.
last year we were at the Air Force Base.
That's right.
Well, the airport, rather.
And they had a great
out.
program there. And this one in Vancouver is very big and robust, and the kids learn so much. And they do camp every summer for 3 days and learn all the sailing skills, citizenship, leadership. And that's the kind of thing we teach.
There's a lot of program. Well, the ones I saw last year, they were doing go-kart mechanics, and I mean,
they made
number of different things.
They made puddle ducks too, and we're able to take them sailing.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
they did
remember
that too. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty impressed by all of this, and look at these kids in the background. They've been told to look interested in what's going on there, and it's been 3 minutes now, and they're starting to lose it. You know what they want to do?
They're good sports.
You know what I want to do is go down and get on the water, maybe.
Okay. So I think you'll need this.
Really?
That's your flotation device.
No, this is my flotation device. But this is okay too.
That's for your upper body then.
Okay. How do you?
I'll help you in.
Okay,
Hang on.
we'll
Arms.
figure it out. And the next time you see us, we'll be
Arms in.
down on or near the water. Hey, we're back at Pat Bay with the Coast Guard out on the dock now. I got a different PFD all of a sudden. This one was made for somebody smaller. I think. Nathan, you're sort of in charge with what goes on here with the Sartex and what have you?
Yeah, so today we're doing a bit of a boot camp introduction to search and rescue for the Navy League. It's sort of with the search and rescue department, which that's my department. We get involved in a lot of volunteer groups, a lot of feeder groups to the Coast Guard, and get them out, introduce them to the Coast Guard, introduce them to search and rescue activities, what we do in the water.
These kids here, like they're 9 to 12, they're having a ball. I mean, this is like, how cool is all this?
You get to get out in a small boat on the water and run around, and it is a lot of fun. And you miss a day of school. It's a Friday, so how can you say no to that?
However, it's all pretty important and serious stuff. And you talk about boot camp. I was up there when you were giving them the indoctrination speech, and you were telling them no fooling around or you're instantly in trouble.
It is. I mean, it is fun to be on these boats, but it is a serious job.
They're going to learn some valuable information here today.
That's the plan. We're going to introduce them to how we would do search patterns and search procedures and operations on the water. So they'll be used as lookouts. They'll be used as recovery people. We're going to do some man overboard recovers with a mannequin.
And, not a real person.
Not a real person.
Because
no.
I was up for doing that.
It's a little cold even for someone in a dry suit.
Yeah,
so.
okay, it is a little cold today. So now is this what what goes on normally at this base and the one down at Ogden Point too, or?
We do run training out of this base quite frequently. We do, right now, small craft training does the same stuff. Inshore rescue boat program does training out of here. This is more of a operations facility maintenance base.
What are these kids finding out here right now?
So before we do any operation, we do a briefing. So everyone is on the same page, everyone knows what's going to happen, and then we do a safety talk such that these are your tasks if we have an issue. So right now the coxswain is going through telling the kids what's going to go on, what their job is going to be to do when we go do stuff. And so everyone is in the same page, we're in the same zone.
Kind of get no fooling around out on the boat.
No fooling around.
It's pretty serious stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, because they say you want to be there, you want to be safe, you want things to go on, and being on the same page, explaining what's going on so they understand what we expect of them.
Well, I know Navy League is looking for kids 9 to 12, boys or girls obviously, to be in this program, and what a great program it is. 100 years old this year, and I can't say enough about it, but Coast Guard, you're looking for a few good men or women yourself, are you not?
We are. In the next couple of years, we're going to be hiring almost 150, 170 people in the region, in the western region here.
Wow, on the coast here.
On the coast, and more than half of those are going to be seagoing people working on the lifeboats like you see behind us, or the ships. Coast Guard ship Bartlett's in here. Okay. So that's going to be a really big expansion of manpower within the next couple of years for the Coast Guard.
All right. Well, Nathan, thank you very much for this.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
So, hope you enjoy your ride.
Can you help me do this up?
Yeah, we'll have to extend it a little bit here.
Kind of embarrassing.
Hi, we're the kids from Captain Rankin Navy League Cadets out with the Coast Guard saving oranges. Saving oranges, remember? No, seriously, you're all watching Check Around.
We're out in the middle of Pat Bay, Patricia Bay, if you will, out off the Sandwich Peninsula, with the Coast Guard and Navy League. The Navy League cadets will be, and they're all from Vancouver, I guess, aren't they?
This group is from Vancouver, yes.
And you are the commanding officer?
I am the commanding officer.
So am I calling you Captain Kangas?
Lieutenant.
Oh, well, come on, I just gave you a raise, for heaven's sake.
Some people say commander, but I'm the commander of the Corps.
You are a volunteer with Navy League, and we'll talk about that in a second because it's so important. But you have cadets over here, and they are having the time of their life, I think.
I think they're all having a blast. When else do you get to be out on a gorgeous day hanging out with Coast Guards on their ribs, learning what the Coast Guard does?
Well, this is like a SARTEC operation. They're learning all about search and rescue, is that it?
They are. So as you see, they've got the buoy out, and they're, well, not at the moment, but they're letting each cadet go in and do some maneuvers around it.
Nobody's jumping in the water here or anything.
I know,
like
but that's what Oscar's for, the little mannequin.
Oh, the mannequin they haul out of the water.
That's right.
This is just so cool. I mean, these are kids from, 9 to 12 years old.
12 years old, yes.
And they learn, well, this is one of the many things, but I guess there's other trips and other experiences they have too, is there?
Yeah, I mean, every corps works a little bit differently. I mean, we have the basic structure is the same, but what the Corps does for extra activities is way different. Depends where you are. Of course, if you're in the middle of Saskatchewan, you do different things.
You're not going to be out in the ocean there anymore.
Not necessarily out in the ocean. We're lucky, we live in Vancouver, and we can come on over here and we can do things in Esquimalt and Pat Bay, Coast Guard, Navy, sailing all year round.
And Navy League's been around for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, we're just celebrating 100 years here in BC.
An anniversary.
An anniversary, but from 1895 when the Navy League first started. So we've been around for quite a while.
Now the thing about Navy League, as opposed to, I don't know, perhaps other organizations, it's all volunteer. Like Deborah Morrow from Verity Home Care, for instance, has financed and facilitated this whole operation we're seeing here today. But other people in the community, like yourself, volunteer to make it happen.
Yes, well, and she's a volunteer for us as well.
I know.
I mean, the Navy League itself works off of volunteers, yes. So we put in our time, our staff puts in our time, and, such as myself, my payment's smiles from the kids.
Well, that's the deal. I mean, educating kids and seeing kids have fun while they're being educated, like right now, I mean, they're paying rapt attention, and I know the commanding officer here from the Coast Guard, he told them to pay rapt attention, or there would be hell to pay out there on the boat.
That's right. Well, we're trying to teach them and have them understand what it is that, in this case, what the Coast Guard does.
Yeah.
Right?
Learning responsibility, for sure.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. If people wanted to know more about Navy League and how they could get involved with it, is there a website they can go to for that?
Of course. So for the national website, navyleague.ca, You can go on there and you can find local corps, you can find out what goes on. I mean, the Navy League Cadets is one portion and the Sea Cadets is another, so you can notice both links on that site.
Okay, well, thank you very much for this. I think later in the show we might see a little bit more of what they're doing, and I'm going to talk to somebody from the Coast Guard because they're looking for people too.
They are.
Okay, thanks for this.
No problem, thank you.
We're still out at sea in Patricia Bay with the Coast Guard and a whole bunch of the kids from the Navy League over in Vancouver, in fact, over for the day. Hi! Okay. Sorry, you guys don't have a talking role in this part. Okay. They're having too good fun out there. They're throwing what is it they're throwing overboard, Kara?
Oscar is one of our training mannequins.
Oscar always seems to come back alive.
He absolutely does, yes.
Why don't you use real people for doing this, by the way, or is it just too abusive?
Every now and then we do, but definitely a better training object to use our Oscar. He's weighted, so he has very similar similarities to.
How long have you been on the Coast Guard for yourself?
I actually started out as an IRB student, so our Inshore Rescue Boat program.
Which? Sorry, again?
IRB, Inshore Rescue Boat.
Okay.
Program. It's a summer program that we set up that has one university student, one of our full-time fleet coxswains, and a naval reservist as well sometimes.
So that whetted your appetite for a career in the Coast Guard?
Yes. I did many years as a university student working on board one of our IRB stations. And from there I moved into fleet working aboard the lifeboats, and I'm now coordinating the IRB program in Western Region.
Well, that sounds great. I mean, and you're local. You're from Vancouver Island here.
I am, yes.
Yeah. Well, couldn't be more local than that. What's it like? Is it something you would recommend? Because I know the Coast Guard is looking to take on 150 people or so, are they?
Absolutely. It's an amazing job, especially when you're out on the water doing this. Our training, everything, it's a really great job.
Well, it might be a little misleading though. Here you are, we're out in the sunshine, you get your sunglasses on, it's like you're on a cruise ship wearing, clothes not suitable for a cruise ship. But I mean, there's got to be more to it than that. I mean, it must be pretty important, serious stuff.
It is, absolutely. And I mean, obviously every day is not like this, but I love being on the water and in any condition doing this. We also have our fleet of larger vessels. They're in charge, they do science missions, they keep up our buoys.
I saw you out on the boat with the kids here, and you were giving them the whole demo with Ivan the dummy, or what was his name was? Oscar, and they're having a ball. These kids just love this, and they're eating it up. They're going to go home and remember this forever.
Yeah, it's great having the kids out here and showing them what we do on the ribs. And, yeah.
I understand that one of the kids, in fact, from the program from a few years back now, is actually in the program at the university, and it's something he picked up at Navy League originally.
Yeah, I heard that. He's at the Coast Guard College out east there.
So if people would like to find out more about the Coast Guard, I guess there's age limits and education and what have you involved. How would they find out more about that?
On our website, lots of information there about the different programs at Coast Guard and where you can go.
And then they'll give you a Zodiac and you can hang out for the summer up island somewhere.
Hopefully. I'm still hoping for that.
Not that easy. Kara, thank you very much for this.
You're welcome.
Stay cool, you guys.